Hello everyone, happy Sunday! I was about to go to sleep yesterday and around 3 a.m. Central European time, Jar drops his response to the drama from months ago, which everyone, except him, okay, understandably he wasn't able to move on, but yeah, the people forgot about it with the time and he chose to still make a response. I don't know if it has something to do with chat logic going on break for a week, because Jar is for me the type of person who would actually maybe be this calculating, considering he sees drama as some sort of big Game of Thrones where you have to collect allies to manifest your power or whatnot. Anyways, I gonna react to it, check it out, see if he apologizes where apologies due. We all know he's gonna argue points nobody cares about, but if there's some stuff I think it's not really relevant or something he says I can't add context to, I'm gonna cut it out, but the original will be linked in the description. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video. Let's see what the funny robot guy has to say.
Hey everyone, it's been a while. In fact, it's been a couple of months. These last few months have been very chaotic to say the least, and I know a lot of you have many questions. You're curious about my side of the story. Don't worry, I brought receipts. I know most people won't care for what I have to
quickly
say.
make it louder. Oh, this one on mics, okay. And my mic is a bit too loud, sorry, wait a moment.
The tea has gone cold and they've moved on to talking about people like Mudahar and Nuxtaku. But at least you're here.
Okay, now I wonder when this video was made, because both Mudahar and Nux are also old news by this point. Right now, Minecraft drama is where it's all at.
Watching this unmonetized video of mine, so you don't have to even worry about giving me money by viewing this video. Or maybe you're just viewing this through someone else's live stream who's looking to farm a few more clicks off of me. I'm
Hello!
not gonna sugarcoat things. I fucked up. I really dropped the ball on this situation. I can't even say that I was manipulated or enabled to get involved with the Synni drama, because both my roommate and my girlfriend and even...
Okay, I'm quickly gonna read out what is on screen. I want to make this clear. They thought defending someone getting bashed, like I've done before, would lead to me fighting against drama channels for years, like I've done before. They didn't want to see me deal with that again and go through the hardship. It's not that they thought I was in the wrong because they didn't see the final video. Also, yes, I will be adding text throughout this video, so people are less likely to misunderstand me. Okay, first, at least this clears up the thing where people thought he wanted to defend Synni despite everyone telling him it's stupid. Everyone told him it's stupid to get into drama, especially if the person is widely disliked. So, okay, still, he maybe should have listened to the people who know him. Then the next thing is, like, Ja, you are in the ACC, in the art commentary. You know, this is how Prison made Luke got successful. People don't watch what's on screen. They are drawing while listening to you. They won't read this text. Yes, will read it out for my audience, but it doesn't mean that your audience doesn't read it, so it kinda is a bad idea. And to the people who want to insult him for the spelling, this man is dyslexic, please call him out on the stupid stuff he says, not the way he spells it. It's out of his control.
And my neighbor told me that what I was doing was stupid and reckless. Even I knew...
Wait, his neighbor? Okay, now I kinda wanna know more about why he's so close to his neighbor when it comes on drama. Because, how do I say it? My neighbors, I often hear them yelling. And I don't know, it's more concerning when they're all together yelling, or if there's complete silence. I shouldn't laugh about it. Not worry, it's nothing abusive. They just are three people constantly yelling.
that defending someone from the Art CC...
Even people I've helped a lot, like Hopeless Peaches, didn't go well for me in the end. Like, what do you mean it didn't even go well for you? Like, you constantly brag about how you were the one who helped her clear her name and whatnot, and she was innocent of the stuff she was accused of back then. You did a good thing. Do you say it didn't go well for you because she turned on you, because she wasn't a good ally, because she was cancelled for something different? Like, she had other skeletons in the closet, skeletons that were not the things you defended her on. Like, you did the right thing for the wrong person. why didn't it go well for you? Simply because you couldn't collect another Pokemon on the way. Okay, and the next thing is, I was one of the people who helped Spoctor as well. Helping people feels good, but isn't good for you in the long run. And again, he didn't collect the Pokemon he wanted to collect in his, I don't know, in his little army. Like, yes, you helped Spoctor when he was innocently accused at the age of 17 of being a groomer. You helped someone who turned out to have news of a 13-year-old on his flash drive way into adulthood. It wasn't something he was guilty of the time you defended him. You did the right thing when you defended him back then. I feel like he's counting if it was worth it or not based on if the person is still around or not to help him. Like, I wonder how much he regrets the stuff he had with, I think, Lyo, because Lyo was around for a while and then got sick and tired of Jar's shit. Like, at first Jar kinda dropped him, ignored him, and then Lyo got fed up, from what I kinda understand. I don't know what's going on there, but Jar really should stop viewing his help he gives to others as some sort of exchange.
With allegations this serious would more than likely go bad for me. I, along with everybody who was close to me, expected me to get some backlash, but not this much backlash. They're not even telling me they told me so because they didn't even expect it to get this bad. But before I get into what's going on and all the allegations against me, I would like to apologize to a few people. I would like to apologize to my girlfriend, my roommate, and my neighbor for not listening to them.
Again, the neighbor. I want to know the context for the neighbor. Please tell us the story, Jar.
You guys know me best, and you were looking out for my best interest. I should have listened to you guys, and now I'm facing the consequences for my actions. I would like to apologize to my editor Lorenzo for any backlash he might have faced from editing my video. Even you were worried about things going wrong after I released the video, and I'm sorry for making you edit it in the first place. I hope the extra money I gave you can make up for my mistake. I would like to apologize to Enno for how my video affected her. You were so young, and no one should go through that at your age. Along with anyone who might have been made uncomfortable by things I've said in my video. And I'm also sorry to my fans for disappointing them. What I did was incredibly stupid, and I understand if you unsubscribed from me. I'm not upset with everybody who has made a video on me, because I can understand where a lot of them are coming from.
Like, for example, right now, this is just, this isn't even a direct segment, this is just the intro, the last few months, and if you would, like, right now end it here, it would have been an okay response, but the fact that we have still almost 45 minutes, even more, ahead of us, it's kinda concerning.
There are a few people who have said some crazy things about me.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have raped you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like, that was probably his dream, his end goal.
I'm going over a lot more than just the Synni stuff in this video, because just about every bad or questionable thing I have done is out there now. If you're only here for one specific allegation and you don't care to watch this entire video, don't worry, I will be providing timestamps for specific allegations. The biggest problem with my video draft about Synni by far is how soft I went on her. I regret that even more now due to the fact that new information has been released about Synni. I don't like being lied to, especially by people who wanted my help, but I fell for what she told me, being the gullible fool that I am. I didn't believe that Synni is a pedo, and I still don't believe she's a
and then he writes on the text here, but you can make the case that she's a groomer. Like, she definitely had grooming behavior. Like, at least he says you can make the case. He doesn't want to outrightly say that she's one, but at least he's okay with this version. But I don't like how he's kinda making himself out to be the victim. He says, yes, I was a gullible fool. Like, you are not a victim here. You are not a victim. You weren't tricked or something. She told you a story and you choose to not do additional research and instead just believed her. And went with it. We saw the interview you had with her. You basically joked around instead of pushing back.
Pedo. I don't believe she had a desire to get with the minor or exchange nudes with the minor. I never said what Synni did was okay. I said it was wildly inappropriate and an optics nightmare. Usually I would expect that if someone was grooming, that the groomer would intend to get with them. At least this was my thought process at the time, based off of all the other grooming cases I have seen. I didn't believe she did what she did out of malicious intent or to hurt anyone. I really believe that she was just incredibly socially retarded, along with the fact that I really wanted to believe that she wasn't as guilty as everyone was painting her out to be, along with the fact that she was encouraged to draw suggestive artwork when she was 14. That's why I took pity
Okay, something is... Okay, wait, I'll let it...
on her because
I don't want to fucking my MLP porn longer on my account and I need to. Like, I kinda hate this fact that you say, yeah, when they were children they were encouraged to do it. Like, yeah, now she's an adult. She tackled grooming topics. She should know better Do not talk with minors. She knows that it's a no-no. Like, when someone was abused as a child and they choose to repeat this, it doesn't mean that you can hide behind the point that yes, but this was done to them as well. Like, you know it's bad and you continue it. I can't get behind this point, sorry.
I thought what she did was out of stupidity and not malice. I truly believed that I was onto something comparing this to the Pyro drama, because Pyro did learn of Ivory's age when they turned 16, not when they were 15, and he said, and I quote here, shouldn't have continued the furry stuff with him, along with the fact that Pyro got a 15-year-old who he knew was 15 to draw a thicker, lewder, sexier.
Yeah, I still don't know how Pyro got away. If the version how Jar tells it is true, I don't know how he got away with it. Because if he really knew this person was underage and then kept continuing with this person, then yeah. Yeah, the issue was that Turkey Tom and Prison Mate Luke and some other people Pyro shot in his response majorly fucked up. And that Ivory called it grooming, and then admitted that he doesn't even know what grooming supposedly is. Synni and Pyro are not the same. Pyro is a situation that was grossly mishandled, and let someone who did wrong stuff get away with it.
Version of his avatar. I thought
But they get away with it. He didn't, like, to be honest, from what I saw, he didn't continue this. He didn't relapse, didn't do anything similar, so at least we can say that he learned. Getting away would mean that he would continue it and suffer no punishment. That's the wrong wording.
to myself, well, if people are okay with Pyro doing this, then why aren't they okay with Synni's actions? I think we all know that if the Pyro drama started with Pyro immediately uploading a video saying, guys, I admit to it, I groomed a minor, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, that drama would have gone completely differently, and I believe that Synni was gaslit into doing that by her roommate who goes by it pronouns. When I saw Kumo coming to the same conclusions about
Like, Birdie's a fucking degenerate. Justice for the ferret, especially. But it was already weird in the first video where Birdie said he goes by he or it pronouns, and Jar, like the total normal person that he is, decides to choose it. Like, bruh. Why is it necessary to tell that the person goes by it pronouns? Just say it's Birdie, then people will know that this person is unhinged. But then again, people would then question why even bother with Birdie.
Synni that I came to, along with witnessing him beating a few people in debates about it, I thought he might have been onto something, so I decided that I should help her as well. I now realize that not all the chat logs were released between Ivory and Pyro in the same way they were for Synni. Also, I believe Synni released the full logs herself, but I wasn't aware of that when I was working on my video. At least I don't think I was. On top of that, Synni is a repeat offender to a very disturbing degree. It would be like Pyro getting accused of everything he did, with the Call Me Carson allegations on top of that, along with a bunch of other things. My main understanding of morality is that hypocrisy is the most objectable sin. I also understand that nothing can get you cancelled harder than a child grooming allegation that a lot
I now I kind of want to know how much he goes into the hypocrisy angle, because hypocrisy doesn't make you wrong. This is always important to remember.
of people believe.
It doesn't mean that it's okay to do it only because I suddenly did it myself. My initial point still stands. It just means that I'm a terrible person according to my own morals.
Saw how people flip-flopped on the Pyro drama, so I thought they were about to do the same with this situation. The first draft of my Synni video was originally made to bash her. That being said, I still went softer on her than most people did, and I was planning to add more to my video draft as the drama went on. I really should have focused on being more professional and objective with the sensitive information around Synni. Instead, I took her at her word, and I gave her way more charitability than she deserved. As you can hear at the end of the full call I had with Synni, I said that I would be making a new draft in defense of Synni before I talked to Jack. But, yeah, I'm gonna be changing my video a lot, and I'm gonna have to reach out to Jack because, you know, for all I know, you're
Have fun with that, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the video ready because knowing Jack, they're probably gonna panic and try to control the narrative. Like, I thought I was being fair by doing that because I only talked to Synni after I had a draft ready to upload on her, but now I can see that was an incredibly stupid move. I was planning for Saturday to be a day where I would @ Jack on Twitter, along with a day to look over a whole bunch of videos about Synni to make sure that my information was correct. Unfortunately, the last draft that I was still in the middle of adding stuff to was leaked by Kumo, and I panicked uploaded what I had.
And yeah, before someone says, hey, why aren't you saying anything, like, I'm not gonna try to let him explain the situation in full before I add my context, so please don't be surprised.
As you can see from this screenshot, which is of my Synni video, I uploaded it unlisted on October 10th, which was a Tuesday, and the actual Synni video was planned to go live on Sunday, but then Kumo leaked this version of the video, so I foolishly decided to upload this version because the other one still wasn't finished. I don't do YouTube full-time, I have a job. I have Saturdays and Sundays off, that's why I was trying to do extra research on Saturday. He got it through Romantic Goblin, as I was in the middle of asking people people to look over it to see if there was any mistakes I needed to correct. I asked people like Misanthropony, Akumu, not to be confused with Kumo, and others if they could look over my video.
The others said it was a good video and they asked not to be shown. So, like, okay, I think it's interesting. Those people told him the video is good. They wanted him to go forward with the video. But they don't want people to know that they were okay with it. So they said, please don't name me, please don't. Like, it is understandable, but it's interesting that he mentions, the others said it is a good video. Like, maybe you shouldn't mention it in the first place, that there were people who told you it is a good video. Even if it would make you look a bit more defendable, because right now you are acknowledging there were other people who wanted you to run into the knife.
I was even debating on whether I should have Chud look it over because he knew about the Synni situation. My roommate was also on a business trip and coming home on Saturday. I was planning to look over both docs with him very carefully. I have the worst case of dyslexia in the
To be honest, I think if he actually let Chud watch over it in private, he probably would have gotten a bunch of slurs thrown at him. But maybe that video would have never seen the light of day. What does he say to Lyle? I do a lot of drug. It took me to get off cock. I think he means coke. And I didn't even do it that much. He's full of shit, lol. Okay, I don't know who he's responding to. This is almost exactly a year old, so I'm just not gonna ask.
the world, so it's very hard for me to do that myself. Yeah, my dyslexia often leads me to focus more on what I can hear rather than what I can read. Now I want to make this clear. When I have people look over certain drafts of videos I've made, I'm not just going to blindly agree with whatever opinion they have. If they disagree with something in my video, I have a discussion with them about it. That being said, 9 out of 10 times it comes down to just me rewording a certain point. I can't even begin to tell you all the different opinions people gave me on how I should go about making my response to all the allegations. This is why I was considering having Chud look over the video, because I considered him to be an objective person. Granted, I went back and forth on whether I wanted him to look over it privately or on a live stream. I was also encouraged to have Chud look over my video by people like Romantic Goblin and Synni.
You could correct me if I'm wrong, Kuma, but didn't you say the same thing on the Chud Logic stream, something she also watched but was happy with the conclusion of?
Yeah,
you
you said the exact same thing on a stream that you had no issues with.
I agreed to do this, even though I didn't know that much about Chud. I just knew he did a video on me a really long time ago, and out of any video I've ever seen on me, I thought it was the best one ever made. Ironically, he was covering my video on cancel culture.
Never know for what or when you'll be cancelled. Maybe you were live streaming and you suddenly screamed out the N-word. Maybe you lied about a drama which caused people to dig into your past about other dramas you have talked about. Maybe you're completely innocent and the allegations against you are false, but too many people are against you and they won't listen. Or maybe you don't have the evidence to prove your innocence. I know cancellation will come for me one day. It comes for everyone. It's not a question of if it will happen to me, it's when. Will it happen in 2025, 2022, or maybe this year? We won't know for sure until it happens.
Yeah, that video aged like a fine wine. I may not fully understand myself as a person, but I do understand that I say off-the-cuff stuff all the time, and that I'm autistic. Me getting cancelled was never a question of if it would happen, but when. I was never foolish enough to believe that I would be the only autistic man on the internet to never get cancelled.
Oh my god, the autism stuff is so... Stop hiding behind your freaking autism, man. Like, you Bo-Blacks are probably the reason a bunch of people feel uncomfortable openly talking about being autistic, because they're afraid of being lumped in with people like you or Mr. Manchi over there. Better before I start to speak on behalf of autistic people, like, genuine question for people on the spectrum who watch this video, like, how does it make you feel? I want you to tell your personal feelings about it, because I think your opinion matters more than mine, to be honest.
If my roommate came home on time, he definitely would have told me, hey, this draft sucks and you need to change a lot of things about it. This is why I didn't ask my roommate to help me debate anyone. He loves debating and he's really good at it, but he only had superficial context as to what was going on, so it wouldn't have been right for me to ask him for help. Me asking him to jump into a random stream and help me debate a topic he didn't know that much about would have more than likely made things worse for me. On top of that, with a little bit of the situation I did explain to him, he told me it was a bad idea to get involved. Yes, I absolutely regret not listening to him, and I'm so sorry for it. Some people said I should have flagged or copyright strike down Kumo's video, but I'm gonna be honest here. Once a video is out there, it's kind of out there. And I've seen what happens to other YouTubers when they try to strike down a...
To be fair, those examples, I think at least I know the Kai Weiss example, the Illumination, or how her name is example, those two I know that they took things down which were commentary. They had commentary over it. What Kumo did was uploading an unedited full clip of your video, and if you explained that you are not happy with the video, it is a draft, and you... Sure, people would be upset at you, but you could have gotten away with it, to be honest. I think the damage would be way smaller than whatever this shit is.
Video. Long story short, it doesn't end well for them. Kumo uploading my video ruined a lot of things for me. It kept me from reaching out to Jack and doing.
The difference is with these people, they took something down that was criticizing him. You can take that, you can say you took something down that is misrepresenting your stance or something. Like, you at least had a better case than the stuff I recognize.
Further research on the topic. Even if I didn't upload my unfinished draft, I still would have received a ton of backlash. Just not as much backlash as I'm receiving now. Because of my lack of research on the situation, I did not understand how bad Synni really was, until I had a call with Himpleton. Yes, I understand he's getting cancelled right now, which made my drama blow up even more, but he still explained the situation to me and helped me understand where I went wrong. So for that, I have to thank him. Apparently, Synni told Enno that it wasn't a big deal that she had a rape fetish at 11, and she also got Enno, who was 14 at the time, to read out the rape comic. And that makes the whole situation way more disturbing than I originally was led to believe. Now granted, I am not happy with Himpleton leaking our call without asking me for permission first, and I'm also not happy with him saying he was pulling an op on me. However, he still did help me out a lot, so I have to thank him for that. Just to give you an example of the extra research I could have done on Synni, this doc was released on the same day Kumo uploaded my video onto his channel. Unlike the other two docs, it's short and straight to the point. If I saw this, I would have held off on uploading my video to do extra research, but because of what Kumo did, I panicked and uploaded what I had. When I uploaded the Synni video to my channel, all I could think about was how unprepared I was for this situation. I came across as very arrogant in that video due to past success of going against the mainstream commentary.
Yeah, this was something I already talked about in my video with the history of Ja, that he often happened to win by default because he often argued also there. The videos are not here to be seen, but it all started with basically arguing with SJWs, Doodletones audience, Doodletones fans who made videos on him who were clearly children. Like, Ja kinda got away too many times and he didn't learn.
Community opinion and coming out on top. Granted, often when I upload a video on YouTube, I get anxiety. I think to myself, oh no, this is the video that's going to get me cancelled. Hopefully it will go over well. That's why I try to hype myself up, because often when you come across as confident,
Every time you make a video, you have the feeling of, oh no, I'm gonna get cancelled this, I know I'm gonna get cancelled this time. Maybe try to put it a bit more time in the oven. Try to think of a way that it's making it less cancelable, maybe. Because if you constantly have this feeling every time you upload something, maybe it's not good for your mental health to even do YouTube. If you can't upload it without being afraid to lose your account.
in a video, it makes people more willing to hear you out. Granted, it's a double-edged sword because it can make you come across as an arrogant douchebag as well. As for the way I interviewed Synni, I have no excuses for myself. I was completely unprofessional with how I handled that interview. The interview was very cringe and my questions were leading. I was thinking about redoing it, but I thought that would be dishonest. Also, I leaked out the full version of the interview, not Synni. Lyle Convoy asked me for it, and I sent it to him after thinking things over for a few days. I could have said I didn't have it anymore, but I wanted to be honest. At the end of the day, I shouldn't have even entertained the idea of making that video in defense of Synni. It was reckless, it was stupid, and I deserve to be dunked on for it. The only part of the video that aged well is what I said about Jack. From the very beginning, I knew there was something that wasn't adding up about this drama, and it was Jack. They're getting bashed for stuff hard right now, but I know for a fact they're not going to leave the internet. They're way too addicted to it. My entire Synni video wasn't terrible, but enough takes were so bad that I shouldn't have uploaded it. You might think that this video is over now. After all, my Synni video is the main problem people have, right? Well, surprisingly, no. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that it's only 1/10 of the reason as to why I'm getting cancelled right now. Because Synni thought it would be a good idea to leak our DM.
To be fair, like from what I saw from the timestamps, the Synni stuff is the only thing that people genuinely, almost unanimously came after you for. Like the thing with the 17-year-old, I know people were kind of on Twitter asking why this person was so over dramatizing, and when the person had an interview, I don't remember with who, that the tone suddenly was completely different than on the Google Doc or whatever they made. I just remember there was an interview with this person, and Given End did the interview with them, and that they were way more chill and less dramatic than they were in text. So that people kind of had the assumption that this person might have someone involved with them, like back then when John Swan chose to kind of completely edit the victim's doc.
Even though I was sticking my neck out to help her. Now, I've been called a simp for defending someone before. I've been called a simp for Peaches, Antunes, Mari, and many others.
The issue is, like, I'm sure some people called him a simp, but they never meant it as serious as they mean it right now with Cinny. Like, back then they just said it for a joke. Actually, I didn't even see people say it. It's the weird thing. Like, maybe 1 or 2 people saw it and he, for some reason, chose to acknowledge it as something legit. I don't know. Right now, the only reason why people think Cinny is legit because you made comments like, yeah, I'm a heterosexual guy, she's a girl. Of course I would be attracted to her, something of that sort. You wanted to call with her to go to sleep. You wanted her attention. That's why people thought you were simping for her. The other stuff really didn't have any indication.
But because the DMs between me and Cinny were leaked, the simping allegations actually have some evidence for once. However, the allegations of me simping for Cinny are false. I can understand why someone would believe I was simping, especially if they didn't know me as a person.
Like when he said therefore, it would be best if he just stop it there. Oh god, the fuck. Here he writes it. First person I did joke with was Sparkter, but he deleted the Discord right after blocking me. Yeah, okay, to be honest, it's actually kinda irrelevant who the first person who you joked about it with was. The joke is also not very funny.
I'm gonna be real here. Me saying wanna see my cock, followed up by a picture of a chicken, or me commenting nice pussy when someone shows me their cat.
Like, why were there so many chats initially where the person, it was Jartex, and then his joke instead of a person responding? Like, okay, here at least you could say he got cat pictures at the response. Okay, can I play with it? It's also a weird response, like, bro, you gotta understand that some people think it's weird. Like, sexual jokes, not everyone is fine with them. Like, you know that these jokes are supposed to be sexual. You should rather think about it if the other person is comfortable with it or not, if the joke is sexual. This is something you should learn to have a filter.
Are common jokes I've made multiple times with multiple different people. I can't believe I used the same cock joke on the same person twice. The only compliment I gave her was calling her Mamacita. Here's the audio clip.
Alright, Mamacita, I'll hit you up when I get home.
As you can clearly see, I was making a race joke, not actually trying to hit on her. When I do hit on women, I don't put on a voice like that. I can't believe people thought this was my attempt to sound sexy.
How are we supposed to know that you don't put on voices when you flirt with women? It's such a stupid argument, like, if you would know me, you would know that, but we don't know you. Luckily, we don't know you.
I talk to both men and women like this, it's just how I joke around. For example, here are a few audio clips I've sent to Akumu, not to be confused with Kumo.
Me and you, man, we're gonna make some magic together.
I said it through voice messages while he replied to me with text, okay?
Akumu, trust me, our team up on YouTube is gonna result in yaoi being drawn of us. It's gonna be great. Yes, yaoi, boys and lover.
Let's be real here. If I said this to Cinny or any
It's hella weird, but yeah, if it's Akumu's sense of humor, I don't know, he never came forward or said he was uncomfortable with it, so whatever blows your boat, I guess.
woman, I would never hear the end of it. I'm gonna be honest here, I think telling someone we're gonna make some magic together and that people will draw ship art of us is a lot more sexual than saying wanna see my cock and sending an image of a chicken. I also have ship art of me and another YouTuber. It's Manga Common, who is a guy. It's Rule 63 versions of our avatar.
Side note, funny how the only time I make ship art of me and another YouTuber is what it was with Manga Carmen. Yeah, to be honest, it's still kinda weird.
Kissing in underwear.
Now, the whole world pretty much knows what I jerk off to.
I have no desire, nor romantic interest in getting together with Manga Common. If I had art like this commissioned of me and Cinny, oh my god, I would never be able to get out of this. I also said this to her in our interview, which was the first time I ever had a call with her. Like, here's the thing, I'm way more sexist than I'm racist.
At least you're admitting to it.
What do you know, you're a woman. I'm gonna be honest here, being sexist towards women, even if it's done in a joking way, is not a good way to get them to fall for you. As more and more DMs between me and other women got leaked, people started believing that I didn't simp for Cinny, but I was simping for every woman I've ever talked to. I heard some people saying, oh, maybe he just talks to every woman like this. The truth is, I talk to every person like this, both men and women. It's just how I joke around. Here's some friendly advice. Telling a woman, want to see my cock and sending a picture of a chicken is not a good way to pick up chicks. If I truly believed it was a good way to pick up chicks, then I would have pursued every woman I sent this to romantically, but aside from one, I don't think I've pursued any of these women. Yeah, I did send this to my girlfriend as a joke, but we talked for several months before we actually got together. I didn't send it to her as a pickup line, I legitimately just thought it was funny. One of my thumbnail artists even sent out this voice clip.
What a cute little pussy.
I think it's pretty clear from my tone of voice that I'm making a joke. I'm not actually drunk. But here's the context as to why I sent that voice clip. Cat the cat spelled with a K instead of a C. Next time you leak something out, make sure to edit your reaction. Saying Lamau implies you thought it was funny.
Like, only because someone says LMFAO doesn't mean that automatically you're laughing, but yeah. What am I supposed to say? It's still hella weird to respond like this to people. The people who joked about this voice line, they joked about you being a fucking horny dude. And the joke doesn't really change here.
Not creepy. Some people have accused me of sending the chicken image to get out of sending my dick when someone says no to me. Then why is it that of all the examples I have found, is there no one saying no to me? Pretty much every single questionable DM of mine has been leaked, so there should be at least one image of my joystick. I'm not going to send a picture of my dick over the internet. Plus, I wouldn't want any of you males to feel inadequate. I'm also not going to lie, people trying to hunt down an actual picture of my cock is a little bit creepy. But of course, the big one is me falling asleep on calls with her. I'm going to be honest, out of everything, this was the main thing that I didn't want to get leaked out. I have incredibly bad sleep insomnia. I have blackout curtains, and I often use different methods to help me sleep, such as melatonin, NyQuil, and more. I even have earplugs and use a fan as background sound. Talking to someone as I fall asleep
Is it the famous AIDS fan from the Even is Online Modern Art video?
waiting for the pills to kick in is one of the easiest ways to help me fall asleep. I could only call Cindy near the end of the day when she and I were both off of work. It's not like I fell asleep while the call was still going or anything like that. Professor Dreadlock has talked to me as I fell asleep numerous times. Unfortunately, he was on a business trip. Last time he went on a trip, I did this with someone else, and that person did not come to the conclusion that it was a romantic or a sexual thing. Because of my autism, I'm very blunt with the request I make. Falling asleep on call with someone was literally done to help me sleep. I was taking Adderall to finish up the Cine video, so that is one of the reasons why I had such a hard time passing out. I used to do what many people have referred to as sleepy time calls on Skype all the time. The only problem is Skype deletes your messages.
My roommate moved in with me around 4 years ago, so there was no more need for me to use Skype. Okay. Yeah, okay, this is actually... I don't know that's not even mental health. I don't know how to treat this stuff, so I'm not gonna argue with him on this. I know a friend of mine who has similar issues with falling asleep, and she's listening to fucking ASMR to fall asleep to, because she was constantly asking me to bring my charger because she didn't put her stupid phone on her charger, because she had it lying right next to her before going to sleep.
After 3 years, so I don't have the proof for that. Luckily, one of my old friends has agreed to give his testimony. Hey man, so we've been friends for like several years, right?
Yes.
Okay, to be honest, I might cut it because it's not really irrelevant. What he showed so far is not really given enough as to question it.
Almost did this as well with another person involved in this situation, and that is Romantic Goblin. I will admit, this is a weird...
You can tell this is around the same time I normally pass out. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly read out the conversations. Just says, I don't think the other stuff needed fixing. It's best if I paint her a little bad so people will watch the video. You up for a voice call? Goblin says, in a minute, let me finish up the video really quick. Then just says K. Then, I'm not gonna be up for much longer. And then she says, yeah, sorry, I got to help family with stuff. And he said, just forget about it. I'm going to pass out now. Okay.
An abnormal thing I do, but I don't do it in a romantic or sexual way. Even Cindy herself admitted she thought it was just me being autistic.
You know, like, how could he get caught in a cheating scandal or dumped by his girlfriend if nobody will believe it ever happened? And now you're acting uncertain that that was the case.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought it was just being, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt.
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
I mean... I don't know, it's just not, like, a thing I hear people say very often.
So what else could it have been?
Just him being autistic? I don't fucking know.
Did you actually stay on the phone with him while he went to sleep?
I thought I was being a friend. I thought he was trying to be a friend of me.
Granted, she later changed her stance to the popular opinion, saying things like how she felt so violated by...
At least this is just what I've been told. Okay, yeah, to be fair, Cindy actually threw him under the bus pretty hard to kinda shift the attention away from her to him, which partially worked.
me. But I have to ask, where am I simping or cheating? I don't see this as simp behavior. I'm not constantly giving her compliments and money. At first people said this was cheating, then they later walked it back to emotional cheating. Where's the emotion in saying I want to see my cock followed up by a picture of a chicken? If there was some more evidence, like me constantly giving her compliments or confiding in her emotionally, then I think this would be an open and shut case. But the thing is, no one has any evidence like that. Kumo knew what was going on. Why didn't he ask Synni?
I think the issue was that it was, for example, clear from the interview call on the video where you want to defend her. It came off like, it's personally, like, it came off to me like it's personal opinion. Like it was fishing for approval. Like you wanted her attention, her approval. Like, yeah, you can now say that you were interested in her as a possible ally in drama, which was basically your reasoning while you wanted to help her back then, as you explained it. How do I put it best? I kind of not want to put words into people's mouth. It is like you want her attention, her approval. Adoration would sound a bit too harsh, but you get what I mean.
To ask me how I truly felt about her, or something along those lines. That would have been undeniable proof, and I would have no way of getting out of it. Yes, I do find Synni's avatar attractive, but 99% of the time, people's avatars look a lot more attractive than they do in real life. Even my robot avatar looks...
Yeah, my body type isn't that far away from Nick Diorio, so I am not gonna really judge here. I just say don't look like my avatar.
More attractive than me. I didn't know what Synni looked like in real life at the time. I'm not going to hit on a woman that I haven't even seen before. Hopeless Peaches had an incredibly attractive avatar, but in real life she looked like an Albinoric from Elden Ring. Not the hot ones that ride on wolves, the ones that look like frogs. I never asked for a picture of what Synni looked like in real life, and I never did a video call with her. I don't want people to believe that I was simping or cheating, but even if I can't convince any of you, there's at least one person who believes that I wasn't simping or cheating, and that's my girlfriend. And honestly, I think I should care more about her opinion than the opinions of random people on the internet. Don't get me wrong, with everybody yelling at me and all the videos made on me, I started questioning my reality, asking myself if I really did cheat on my girlfriend. I was starting to buy into the negative hype surrounding me. I started believing that I cheated on my girlfriend, but after looking over things more clearly and talking with my girlfriend, I realized I didn't cheat on her, and I would never cheat on her. She's the most wonderful person I've ever been with. It's very odd that the main...
Considering this woman stood by his side after all of that, she deserves flowers every friggin' day.
narrative around Synni was that she was a groomer but not a pedo. But now all of a sudden people are saying I rizzed up a pedo, or that I cheated on my girlfriend with a pedo. Seriously, who do you guys think I am?
Don't worry, you didn't rizz up a pedo. You failed. You had L-Riz, as the youth would like to say.
I'm Monkey Jones. I didn't have any sexy roleplays with Synni, or any roleplays for that matter. I never requested her to draw me any lewd art.
Did you guys do them together at all?
No, what the fuck?
He didn't make it like in your phone calls with him. You guys didn't do anything freaky.
No, he mostly just talked about fucking like Star Wars and shit. And I mostly just talked about my cat.
Nothing going light, it sounds like something I would do. Talking to a 10 out of 10 Latina about Ninjago lore is not a good way to get them to sleep with you. I would never hit on someone by talking about Star Wars. Never underestimate the pull Star Wars has, like. My ex-fiancé, we were together for 7 years. I met him through Star Wars. Like, as long as you don't consider the Disney sequel trilogy Star Wars, you can get girls with it, trust me.
Like...
Now, I did admit that I wanted Synni as an ally, but I didn't elaborate on what I meant by that. I've been working with a Kumu, not to be confused with Kumo, who was slandered by the ArchCC. I was also slandered by the ArchCC, and I thought Synni was as well. I worked with Peaches, who was slandered by the ArchCC, and we did a lot of good together, but Peaches only went after people who talked about them. I knew I couldn't stop people from getting slandered by the ArchCC by myself. I needed help. But stopping commentators from slandering people, even if it's a niche group of commentators, is an absolute pipe dream, and I'm giving up on it. I didn't help people like Hopeless Peaches, Antunes, Mari, or Princess Elizabeth 013 with the expectations that they would return my kindness one day. Granted, I always hoped that they would join me and help me help out other people who were slandered, but it almost never happened. Putting my channel and reputation at risk to help another YouTuber rarely gets me views or any form of benefit. Often it means I will have to deal with their haters from now on, or they'll come after me for not helping them out enough. I'm not the best judge of character, and I think it's time I stop trying to be a little internet hero. I now understand more than ever before why other people don't do this. I want to make this clear, whenever I defend anyone, I'm not saying they're a perfect little angel who didn't do anything wrong. Not every allegation about Synni was true, but enough of them were. But I know you guys aren't just here for this stuff about Synni. You're also here regarding the allegations involving the image of Jaiden Animations lifting up her shirt. First of all, yeah, I always had a thing for Jaiden Animations' avatar. I've never kept that fact hidden. I even asked her out on a date at the end of my first Daft Pina video, and then she immediately uploaded a video saying that she was asexual. Jesus, I've never been rejected that hard. But of course, the more important part about all of this is the age of the person who drew this picture for me. A document was made roughly a week after I got involved in the Synni drama. Basically, a person who I will be referring to as K was in one of my Discord servers. According to their document, they were in a VC with me, and I made a request for my avatar to be S.ing Jaiden Animations. Then everybody yelled at me that there was a minor in the call, and I lowered the request to
She changes to rape in her interview, okay.
just Jaiden Animations lifting up her shirt. And Kay, who was 17 at the time, was the one who drew it for me. The most damning claim in this document doesn't have any evidence to support it. To my knowledge, the call wasn't recorded, and I don't think I or most people would remember what they said in a specific VC over 4 years ago. I don't know what I said, but I don't think I said that. I'm pretty sure this was just put in the document to make me sound as much like Synni as possible. My best guess is I was making a video about Jaiden Animations porn, and I wanted something to be used in a thumbnail, and Kay offered to do it for me so she could get the art role. Let's be honest here, this picture of Jaiden looks like it would be more at home in a thumbnail than in someone's wink bank. After they made the art for me, several months later, they told me that they were 17 at the time they made it. When I saw this message, I didn't know—
Wait. You commissioned someone to draw something seductive, and you didn't know the person's age. At least check the age before you ask them for a commission, especially if it's something a bit more raunchy or however you would call it. Come on, this is a complete non-defense. You actually make yourself look worse with this job.
How to respond. It was just before Christmas, so I got ready for the holidays and forgot all about her message. So as you can see, they told me their age after they made the art. According to their document, they didn't want to come out about this sooner because I was a big, scary, and intimidating YouTuber. But the thing is, I was getting cancelled about 4 years ago during the Prismate Luke and Toby drama, and that was only a few months after they made this art for me, so that would have been the perfect time to release this. The people I was dealing with back then were cartoonishly uncharitable. She really missed out on a big opportunity. You can also see from our DMs, which—
The issue is, right now was the better choice because it was all within the ACC, and when this time also the mainstream drama commentary also thought that Jar was stupid. So maybe that's why he did it. So also because the ACC, let's be honest, if the artist came forward with this, people might have asked, hey, why did you even work with Jar? Don't forget, this is the ACC. They are very selective on who they help.
Kay showed from the bottom up for some reason. She was always the one starting the conversation with me and not the other way around. Literally, the last quote-unquote conversation we had was the same year the Synni drama happened, in 2024. If I was a big, scary, intimidating YouTuber, then why did they continue talking to me? Why did they make the art just for a Discord role? And if they thought it was wrong, then why didn't they tell anyone about it before the drama around me happened? After they got slight pushback, once they put this document out in the public, they deleted their Twitter. So they kind of just nuked themselves into me for literally no gain. However, the document was out just long enough to do lasting damage to me. Even Chud, Kuimon, and Himpleton, along with their chats, thought this was a bit ridiculous. Keep in mind, I'm public enemy #1 right now, so my reputation is at an all-time low, which means the charitability people will give me is not very high. She got interviewed and admitted to being overdramatic. However, there's a reason why I'm calling her Kay instead of her Discord name, and that's because I don't want you to send her any hate. Now, I understand her name is already out there in other people's videos, but I personally don't want to send her any more hate for one specific reason, and that's because she acted completely differently in the interview than how she came across in her doc, which to me heavily implies that someone else wrote it for her, or at the very least, someone manipulated her into writing the document in the way she did. I can't believe that throughout my entire time on the internet, I've only requested 2 pieces of quote-unquote goon art, and one of them caused this much drama around me. Goddamn. Yeah, aside from these 2 images, there's no other piece of goon art that I have requested. I have one of them just to see if someone would make it just for a Discord role, and the other one was to fuck with Manga Common. The only evidence that exists that implies I knew her age at the time was from this screenshot. However, I'm dyslexic, so I only skimmed her message and replied with, "That's sweet of you, thank you," just so I could be polite. I was talking to a lot of people back then. I'm not gonna read that much text from someone I barely know. That's way too much work. Reading gives me a massive headache. As for her age and birthday in her bio, back then I didn't really check those, plus it doesn't show up on my laptop for some reason. It does, however, show up on my mobile device, but I use Discord on my laptop 99% of the time. If anyone knows why this is the case, please tell me in the comments down below. However, I still made a mistake here, because whether she was 7, 17, or 70, I should have 100% asked for her age beforehand. So for that reason, I have to apologize.
Great on you for acknowledging it, even though the cat is out of the bag.
Kay, I'm sorry for being an irresponsible server owner. You were 17, and it was my job to check your age beforehand. Now, some people, like Ghost Cato, have tried to increase this allegation all the way to a grooming allegation. No wonder why Just a Robot was so eager to defend Synni. Skullface, pedos of a feather, flock together.
Yeah, with Goat Cato, the same person was called out years ago when she made a video about Sashley, who was an art commentary member and was groomed. I think it was the age, I think it was even, the person was prepubescent. I think they were 13, 14 when they got groomed, and Goat Cato for some reason thought it's a good thing to blame the minor Sashley. So she saw a situation where a minor got groomed and chose to blame the minor. So Goat Cato isn't someone who I'm gonna really use as a credible source. Sorry, I'm playing a bit with a fidget toy because I have fever and it helps me calming down. Yeah, so it's not really a person who I would take as a credible source.
Gee, where did they get the pedophilia from this? Jaiden Animations is the same age as me. It's not like I was asking for sexy artwork of that anime VTuber Shark Girl or anything like that. I have to say, if you actually believe this is grooming, then I must be the worst groomer in the world. I make them draw one picture for me, then barely interact with them for 4 years.
Thanks for assaulting my ears.
The next big allegation against me is kind of like the first one. I sent this image to someone who was apparently a minor at the time. I sent it because I honestly thought it was funny. Like, I think you guys can see.
Did you start your conversation with this person sending them this? Wait. This is the beginning of your direct message history. The first thing you sent to this person is fart. Fetish stuff. And then the question is why did you have it on hand? Where did you find it?
Someone who was apparently a minor at the time. I sent it because I honestly thought it was funny. Like, I think you guys can see the comedic nature of this image. Here's all my
I don't see the comedic nature, to be honest, but maybe it's because I'm not into farts.
DMs with this person. As you can see, we barely spoke, and they sent me some inappropriate stuff, like a video about Kronk judging the size of your dick. I acknowledged their age near the end of the chat because I just found out what their age was around this time. However, I did not check their age at the time, so to comedic autism, I am sorry for not double-checking your age before sending you this image. Now, some people have accused me of having a fart fetish from this image, even though I think it's the only fart image I've ever sent, and I sent it because I thought it was funny, not because I thought it was hot. Some people have even said that the person in the box is me. I guess everybody forgot how to reverse Google image search. Not every bald guy is me. That's fucking dumb. I sent this image around the same time I requested the Jaiden drawing, so it's clear to me that back then I wasn't very good at checking people's ages. But I have learned to do so, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't repeated this mistake. No one called me out for this back then, I just corrected it on my own. I think there's only one more big allegation against me that I think I need to go over. And that's the stuff surrounding VidCon 2023. First of all, I'm a little shocked that they held on to this for over a year. Yeah, the ArtCC wasn't planning anything against me, nothing at all. Basically, just before VidCon started, I showed off my new thumbnail from—
What do you mean with holding on to it? They just remembered it on the back of their head, like they didn't keep screenshots or something of it.
My Spoctor video. Obviously it had an EDP joke in it because, well, I love making jokes about EDP. Bro is the most exposed man on the internet. And Spoctor had the nudes of a 13-year-old on his flash drive, and EDP went to go meet up with a 13-year-old. So that was the thought process behind the joke. People in the ArtCC had an issue with this, and eventually I came to the conclusion that the problem was that people would come across this thumbnail and immediately assume I was comparing him directly to EDP.
So, okay, I think it's stupid, to be honest. I think the only thumbnails I would call problematic are genuinely chuds, but people seem to love them, and I'm not gonna start a fight with those people. I'm afraid of them. Not afraid, but I'm not ready to fight them.
I decided to change it. Now granted, they don't seem to have the same problem with other clickbait titles and thumbnails.
Not so fast, Jar. The people calling you out on the Spoctor drama thumbnail were the art commentary community. The thumbnails you see here, this is the general commentary community, the drama commentary community. Over here, people are way more chill about edgy humor of thumbnails or something like this. So don't worry. This is not the art commentary community. Unless you can show me where Melly Malware, Harley, or someone who you had drama over the thumbnail with was saying this thumbnail is good. Show us this, unless Otherwise, you can't call it a hypocrisy. You are not a victim, honey.
About me, but I guess it's one of those rule for thee but not for me kind of things. But I still thought we were on friendly terms and we would meet up at VidCon. I sent this inappropriate joke to Mal, and she did not take very kindly.
Pause to read if you like, so I'm gonna still read it out. Like Mel says, I'm still in transit at the moment. Haven't gotten any Airbnb yet, but maybe once we're settled, although I'm not sure there will be time for voice call stuff during VidCon. He just says, we could talk in person at VidCon, just me and you over drinks. Maybe you come to the hotel room with me, lol, just kidding. Like, it's still weird when you make this proposition. Like, adding this lol, just kidding at the end is something guys occasionally do. To just have a safe way in case she says no. She said, no way, I'm not gonna spend VidCon time on that sort of thing. I wanna focus on holiday stuff. Jaiden says, did you see the last message? And then she says, send it the same time as my message, lol, but also XD, still no way. He says, fuck. Well, I would like to meet you. I hold your opinion as high as peaches and liars, but they do not like Spocta at all, so they might offhand a lapse in thinking. I just haven't seen anyone say, you went too hard on Spocta until you came along. Hell, most people said I went too soft on the guy. It is something you can have in chat. You don't need to talk in person with her about fucking Spocta.
To it. I should note that I was a bit high at the time. Weed is illegal in
Oh my god. Really? I was high at the time. And are you now going Boblax mode? Don't do weed. We saw what we did to Boblax.
Texas, but in California it's very easy to get. But the bigger issue was me constantly pushing to meet up with her. Eventually I told her that I'll leave her be because I had no more plans to meet up with her because she didn't want to see me. Now I did later apologize for this, but unfortunately it came a little bit too late. Admittedly, I should have stopped after she said no the first time. I was walking around at VidCon doing stuff at different panels. Eventually I got hungry. I bought some ice cream, I sat down to eat it, and then I heard Ponder's voice and looked to my left, seeing that she was sitting right next to me. So I shook her hand, revealed who I was, she exclaimed, oh my god, and I walked away. I thought it was funny. Ponder described this interaction as a lot more creepy than it really was, adding things like me squeezing her hand and other stuff like that. Or
the difference is that you are a tall guy, so maybe something that you thought wasn't that aggressive or squeezing. Maybe she, as a petite woman, kinda felt it differently. That's kinda the issue, like for example with handshakes. A dude's handshake can feel very rough on a woman even if he didn't want to make it that rough as he would do it with his male co-workers.
that I was laughing maniacally as I walked away. I did laugh, but it wasn't until I was inside. She talked about this interaction literally a year later and drew me as a sexy elf boy for some reason.
To be honest, if you laughed inside or way she still saw you, it doesn't change the fact that you thought it's funny and you laughed.
She kept me anonymous, of course. A bit odd that my anonymity was important until I was getting bashed. I'm confused as to what the allegation is here. It's just a handshake. I didn't put my arm around her and say the N-word. Ponder has drawn my avatar in very compromising.
He said, okay, technically not NSFW, but they're a bit flirty or odd. Never asked her for those or suggested these to her. We never were in direct contact at the time.
Positions a handful of times without my request or consent. I want to make this clear, I don't really care how she drew my avatar. If the genders were reversed, what I did would have been seen as no big deal, but what she did would have been seen as a huge deal. The problem with this allegation is I don't know what people are accusing me of. It was just a handshake. People have claimed I...
The issue was this handshake played into the fact that you are weird around women. That the way you are around women makes them uncomfortable. God, in the interview you had with Beckett, you even kinda indicated that you got fired from jobs because you were kinda odd around women. Doesn't mean that you sexually harassed them or something, but it meant that you made them uncomfortable with your behavior. This story Ponder gave was a pattern.
Cheated on my girlfriend by doing this, even though we got together after this interaction occurred, and I think a handshake is one of the most unromantic things you can do with a person. I don't think this is sexual assault, it's just two hands touching. I wasn't hunting the others down at VidCon. If I was, I would have just stayed there with Ponder. I knew she was friends with them, and I knew they were going to meet up. Basically, the allegation about me hunting the others down at VidCon has no proof backing it up. In fact, all the proof seems to contradict that claim. I sat next to Ponder by complete accident. I wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity. me. Then there was another allegation about me hunting them down at VidCon 2024. From the video evidence I have seen, the video footage just shows them running or hiding from someone who is allegedly me, but they don't show me in any of their video footage. There's not one single shred of evidence that I was looking for them. Sure, I was keeping an eye out for Ponder. If I saw her, I was just gonna say, hey, did you see Akumu's new video on you? And then walk away. And that was about it.
I mean, you saw her and you didn't ask her that, so...
If there was video evidence of me running up the escalator to catch them, or chasing them around at panels, that would for sure make me look very creepy. But just for the sake of argument, let's take their word on it. Let's say I was hunting them down at VidCon and chasing after them. Then what was I gonna do when I caught them? Shake their hand again? Sorry, but I'm gonna keep going to VidCon. I'm not looking for you guys, and I hope you guys aren't looking for me. We can both enjoy it separately. As much as they say that I'm paranoid, I think they're really the paranoid ones. I just wanted to meet up with them at VidCon, and all—
To be honest, I wasn't there. I can't confirm or deny any of the two versions.
of this happened. Goddamn.
I'm just gonna skip Misanthropony and Kumo because those are two people I genuinely don't want to defend. I don't know enough about their dramas with Jar, and both of them are gone, so there isn't really much to add.
There are some smaller allegations against me, like how my roommate isn't actually black, or that me and my roommate jack each other off, or that I make videos on a combination of cocaine, Adderall, and meth.
Are those general accusations, or are people just making jokes and you think those are accusations?
Magic mushrooms. Every other allegation I've heard against me doesn't really have any proof backing it up, or the proof contradicts it, like the claim that I got a rape fetish from watching anime, even though I literally said the opposite.
Like to have a rape fetish at 11.
What's he saying? You can tell the context by what I'm saying, that I don't think it's common to develop a rape fetish at such an early age. So why would I say that it's not common for an 11-year-old to develop a rape fetish, but it's common for a 14-year-old to develop it? That doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, I'm reading this out in a stupid tone because I want to make clear it's not what I say. I don't want to be clip-chimped. Nope, nope, nope.
I mean, I think it's common to have a rape fetish, but not at 11. Like, don't get me wrong. I developed a gender bent fetish at like 7 or 8, but that's because I watched Ranma 1/2, and it developed early on. But like, I did develop a rape fetish from watching Berserk.
Okay, not
I
so
won't lie, this whole
clear.
drama has not been fun for me to go through. I joined the losing side in a big drama, and the people I joined tried to sabotage me and destroy me. If it wasn't for my girlfriend's support, I don't think I would have been able to come back as soon as I did. I was thinking about giving up, but then she told me that plenty of other YouTubers have gotten way more backlash than me, and they haven't given up. Turkey Tom, The Quartering, Blair White, Seth the Programmer, Illuminations.
Blair White are something like political grifters. They have a lot of support. Because in this political sphere, you get a lot of support. Limations got a lot of shit but continued on, but she didn't get a lot of shit for content she made. Like, okay, she got a lot of shit for trying to take someone down, but she never directly made content about it, so there wasn't a video to get shed on. And yeah, she didn't even get that much on her supposed fat positivity video, because it wasn't really that offensive or dangerous as it was. Let's just say so. I think before you sleep. Sorry, I was just kind of getting my pills out of the box because I not feel so good and the video's almost over. The Animations thing, it was both videos were think before you sleep, played it out in the extreme, so that's what I wanted to say.
Tipster, Nostalgia Critic.
Tipster, the person who throws a fit and leaves a community when he gets called out. Dude is jumping communities and blocking people when he gets called out. He isn't moving on, he's moving on in a different community because he burns the bridges to the one he has right now.
Killer Keemstar, Vosh, Kraut, and even more. I've seen multiple YouTubers get less backlash than me and give up, but I think I'm going to stay. However, I'm going to take a long hiatus. I'm only taking a hiatus from uploading videos.
Then he said, I might upload a few shorts, but that's about it. Okay, good for you for taking a break.
I'm going to keep on working on videos just as much as I always have. So once I come back in August, I'll have plenty of videos to upload. My channel hasn't been doing so hot all of 2024, so I think it's time I take a step back and re-examine everything. I want my content to be more consistent across all of my channels. I also think taking a break from YouTube.
So he wants to come back in August. Let's see if he's actually do it, because I can see Jar being the person who, the moment someone he has huge beef with gets cancelled, that he's jumping out of the bushes to make a video on it and capitalized on their negative experience.
would not only be a good thing for my mental health, but also because it has changed so much. It's not YouTube anymore, it's the gay love child of TikTok and Twitch. I've seen so many YouTubers say they're going to take a break, only to not do so, and then they mess up a lot. So I'm going to try to avoid making the same mistakes as them. Trust me, I wanted to make this video longer, I wanted to debunk more allegations against me, but if I make this video too long, well, people aren't going to check it out. The bigger I get on YouTube, the more haters I'm going to get, so I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that people are going to believe things about me that are
You don't get the more haters the bigger you get. Don't worry. Like, it's not a linear thing with hate and love. Like, look at Markiplier. People love him in general. I highly doubt the hater base grew with his growth on YouTube. Then he says, my drama is what Dream has to deal with every day of his life. I think he deals with much more, but also Dream has a very protective fan base, so you can't compare you two.
untrue, just like a lot of big YouTubers have to deal with. Throughout my time on YouTube, I've dealt with false murder allegations that a lot of people believed, poorly photoshopped grooming allegations, rape allegations, grooming the groomer allegations, getting backstabbed by people I was trying to help, and so much more. I just need to take a step back and take a break for a little bit. I hate that people can literally
I don't know, I feel it's kinda wrong how much he victimizes himself in those situations, but maybe it's just me personally, I don't know.
say anything about me, and it's treated as fact, even if they have no evidence for their claim. I debunked our gentleman's video on me, he took it down, quit YouTube for several months, and once this drama around me happened, he re-uploaded it, and it got over 200,000 views. Come on, that's a bitch move. Know what else is a bitch move? People coming out with allegations against me that if they released at any other time wouldn't have been taken seriously at all. If you think these allegations are half as damning—
Yes, it's a bitch move, but unfortunately it is something that happens a lot in drama, like... Sometimes I saw people getting in drama and I was wondering if videos are gonna get re-uploaded or popped back up. Another examples, like for example right now the Minecraft stuff is going on. People are right now speculating on if Bugs is gonna come back.
as you painted them out to be, then you should have released them way sooner. But I guess you got a lot of views and attention, so I suppose it was worth it. Someone told me that more videos have been made on me than Synni. I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels true. I know there are people who haven't made a video on Synni, but did make a video on me. Being more hated than a groomer is not a good feeling. A lot of YouTubers I'm subscribed to made videos on me. Not only did they make videos on me, but those videos did really well.
Yeah, because people don't like to talk about topics like grooming, and you were a pretty mild topic, which was easy to talk to. For example, I didn't make a video on Synni, but I make a video on Jar. I made a video on Jar, basically like a simple introduction to his former communities and dramas, because I saw a lot of people not knowing about the stuff he was yapping about, and I wanted to give those people some context. Your drama is a bit more innocent than to talk about Synni, which included grooming
for their channels. It felt like even the algorithm was against me. That's why this response took so long. I had to gather so many receipts to prove my innocence. I don't think people were going to let me ignore this. When you take every single mistake anyone has ever made and line them up in a row, we all look like monsters. This drama has shown me one thing. People for
years, I kinda wonder what those receipts were that took him months. Because there was a lot of testimony about a lot of existing screenshots, a lot of stuff that wasn't necessary was argued. I don't know if this video really needed that long, but it's just me. Anyways, this is the end. I'm gonna edit it and then go to rest so that I can go back to work tomorrow, because unfortunately being sick is not an excuse over here, and I'm alone in my office, so it's not even like that I have the excuse of infecting someone. I might even call sick, I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Have one hell of a day. Like and comment and subscribe as always. I think I'm done begging for now. See ya. Bye.